Adventures of Darla and Mickey, The Bird Fountain, written by K.L. Magnus, illustrated by Maurice Calloway. Dedication to my beautiful and inspirational children Alexandria, Gabriel and Mars, to my mother for pushing me to make this book series a reality, and to my brother Martel Smith. We will miss you always. This is a story about two sibling parakeets, an easygoing and daring female named Darla, and a careful and somewhat timid male named Mickey. These two birds are about to set out on a mission that will change their lives forever. Chapter 1. High Hopes. Mommy, time to wake up. Can I go take the cloth off the bird cage now? Please wake up, Mummy. It's kind of early, dear. Are you sure you want to do that right now? Her mother asks while stretching in bed. Yes, that's what I want to do, or I wouldn't be asking now. Wake up, Mummy. Twyla, you go ahead without me. I'll be up in a second. Okay, Mummy. Twyla excitedly runs out of the bedroom and down the narrow hallway. She enters the large living room and with the use of her socks slides across the wooden floor and stops right in front of the birdcage. Rise and shine, beautiful birdies, she says after removing the cloth cover. Darla, she's here again, and she has that look in her eyes. I'm sure she's here to eat us this time. She's going to eat us for sure, Mickey shouts while flying around the cage. Darla yawns and opens her eyes. Calm down, bro. Twyla loves us. It's been almost a month since we've been here, and besides, you say that every morning. Mickey lands next to his sister on the tree branch. You think I'm crazy, don't you? No, I think you're a loon, Darla answers and continues with her morning song. Well, excuse me for worrying about our well-being. You worry too much. Try to relax and enjoy life sometimes. You can't always be so carefree, Darla. With that line of thinking all the time, you won't live long. Worrying about every little thing, neither will you. Both birds stare each other down for a while before turning their beaks up and looking away. Darla then hops down to the water tube to take a drink. Glug, 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 glug. Mickey goes in the opposite corner and munches on the birdseed. Twyla snickers at their behaviour. You two birdies do that every morning. It's funny. I wonder what you guys are thinking. She starts chirping back at them. Darla looks up at her and giggles. That is so cute. Don't you think so, bro? Mickey stares at the child as if she has lost her mind. Sure, cute. Whatever you say, sis. Oh, don't be such a stick in the mud. Maybe if you act friendly to them, they'll let us spread our wings and fly around the room from time to time. Let us fly around? Humph. Don't get your feathers up about that one, or your first idea for that matter. Twyla tells them she will be right back and sprints to her mother's room. Seriously, Dodo, yesterday I heard Twyla begging her parents to let us out of the cage someday, she tells while flying to the highest branch. And what did they say? They said, maybe someday, but not today. See, I told you so. It might not be such a bad idea to stay in a cage after all. There are way too many dangers out there just waiting for us to fly into their clutches. Darla glides back down and lands in front of him. Oh, yeah, so many dangers in the living room, like hot lamps and spinning ceiling fans. Oh, not to mention the creepy cold leather furniture that's just dying to get a hold of us. He starts shaking like a leaf in the wind. She sighs. Really, Mickey? What real danger could possibly be in the house? Does he fit the bill? He says with fear. Darla turns around only to see the huge mischievous eyes of a calico cat staring her down with bad intention. Meow! She yells to the top of her beak. And they both dart to the ceiling of the birdcage. The cat begins pawing at the bars, trying to figure out a way inside. Don't worry, Mickey, that cat is too dumb to figure out the latch on the door. The cat suddenly starts to fiddle with the door latch. The siblings gasp and hold one another even tighter. I don't think insulting him was such a good idea, sis. Just when it seems the clever feline is about to pop the latch, Twila's mom grabs him by the back of his furry neck and takes him off the wooden stand. Bad kitty, Beano, bad kitty. How in the heck did you get in the house anyway? Honey, I'm home. A voice comes from out of the background. That's how. We're in the living room, dear. I'll be right there. Twila's mom walks down the hall with the cat in her hands. You let Beano in again, dear. You have to be more careful. Sorry about that, birdies. My silly old daddy let Beano sneak past him, Twila tells. The parakeets finally relax and fly to the middle of the cage. We have a special surprise lined up for you two when my mommy gets back, and I know you're gonna like it lots. What did I tell you, Mickey? They're gonna do it. They're gonna let us fly free. Darla then does a loop-the-loop around the cage. After what we just went through, you still want to get out? Well, you can certainly count me out of this one. There is no way in the blue jay skies that I'll leave this cage with that cat prowling around. Oh, you little chicken, the cat is gonna be outside, as it always should be, and it will do you some good to get out of this pigeon coop before you lose what's left of your marbles. You'll have fun, I promise. Well, I don't know, Darla. She quickly covers his beak. Shh! Here comes Twila's mum and dad now. Mummy, Daddy, they're ready, she shouts while jumping for joy. Okay, Twila, hold your horses, her father says as he picks up the bird cage. You didn't even eat breakfast yet, little one. How do you wake up with so much energy? Her mother asks. Twila just shrugs her shoulders and smiles. I wish I could go back to being 6 years old again, the way I could have all the energy in the world as well, says her mum. I wonder where they're taking us to, Darla imagines. I have no idea, but it better be pleasant, Mickey states. I bet it's somewhere special, maybe an open area so we can finally soar. I've always dreamed of this day ever since the first time at the pet store when I developed my flying skills. I wish that I could be on the outside of that huge glass box just once to feel some real wind underneath my wings. Yeah, sis, I clearly remember the many times you tried to fly out of the glass when some of our friends and family were being bought by humans. Our parents were wondering if you had lost it, which I always thought for the most part is true. Ha ha, very funny, Mickey. You'll see what I mean once you get that feeling of true freedom. That's if you learn to stop being so yellow-bagged.
That was such a low blow. You know that can't be helped. He refers to the main colour of his plumage. She giggles at him, catching on to her joke, and merrily flies upward.
Oh, geez, lighten up, will ya? We're gonna have fun.
Maybe you're... Hey, wait! Was that another shot at me?
Yeah.
We're here, little birdies, Twyla tells. Both her mommy and daddy smile from ear to ear. Well, here you go, birdies. Enjoy, says Twyla's dad. He places the birdcage on a hook that's set just above a red curtained window. Here goes what exactly? Mickey replies. Twyla's mother then opens the curtains, and the mid-afternoon sunshine beamed throughout the entire hallway and beyond. The glare was so bright that both Twyla and the parakeet pair had to cover their eyes.
The days have been so beautiful this spring that we wanted to give you two a surprise, Twyla's mom said. She also decided to open the window so the outside breeze could fill the house with fresh springtime air. Her parents hold hands and begin to talk among themselves. Oh, have you talked to Thomas yet, honey? Hopefully by now he has come up with a way to keep those pests out of my garden, and Beano isn't having any luck out there either.
I haven't yet, dear, but I'll speak with him later this afternoon, Dad replies. Suddenly the front doorbell rings. Oh, that could be the landscapers. Mum and Dad head towards the living room to answer the door. Darla and Mickey stare out of the window with the same look of surprise on their faces, while Twyla sings and dances around in her own little happy world. Okay, the sunny day, excellent. And here I thought we were gonna take a trip to Hawaii, Mickey jokes.
Well, that's all right. It's still a nice gesture, and it is very lovely out,
Darla utters while sulking.
Pfft, nice try, sis. You really thought they were gonna let us out to fly around, huh?
Well, not only did they not let us out of this canary prison, but they have also ruined my ability to take afternoon naps. There is no way that someone could sleep with all this sun in their eyes. Out of nowhere, he is clunked in the head by a sunflower seed. Ouch!
Oh, quit your squawking. It's getting annoying.
Mickey rubs the sore spot on his head as he walks over to his sister. I get it. You're disappointed, aren't you? Well serves you right for believing those crazy ideas of yours. He then waves her off and flies over to the water tube. If you're gonna cry, Darla, feel free to do so. Just try to keep it down, will ya? Darla becomes so steamed that her brilliant sky blue coloured face turns red. Mickey! She explodes. He knows that she's coming for him, but gets so startled by her shrieking that he's powerless to move. As Darla dives down like a bomb from above, all Mickey can do is watch as the shadow that looms over his body becomes bigger and bigger. Ooh, he utters. Boom! Birdseeds, water and feathers go flying everywhere as the entire cage rattles. Darla is standing on top of her big brother, who is now wedged halfway inside of the water tube. Twyla stops dancing to watch the two silly birds, and then she falls to the floor, giggling out of control.
Serves you right for talking to me in such a manner.
Darla hops off Mickey and proudly walks away. He starts to kick his feet wildly in an effort to get free. As he holds his breath, his bright yellow face begins to turn blue. I just want to get out of this cage and spread my wings, even if it's just for a second. It's my very nature, she expresses, then yanks her brother out of the tube. This is driving me insane. What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? She yells whilst rapidly shaking him back and forth. You can stop shaking me for starters. She snaps out of her daze and lets go of her brother. He falls to the birdcage floor and desperately tries to catch his breath. Whoa! I got to get a grip. I just turned into you for a second. He climbs back up the branch, turns around and pulls a sharp twig from out of his rear end. Not funny at all, Darla. Chapter 2. The Mystery Bird. Ding dong! The front doorbell rings again. Twila, Jasmine's here. Her mother calls out. Okay, Mummy, I'm coming. Well, birdies, I'm going over to Jessie's to play dollies. Have fun and enjoy the day. She runs down the narrow hallway and slides out of sight. Easy for you to say. You can move around wherever you want to, Darla says as she looks around their birdcage. Mickey shakes the water out of his feathers. I don't think they ever planned to let us out of here, Darla. Beautiful and exotic birds such as us are born to be pets, nothing more. It's always been the way for many generations, and it's not going to change now. At least, that's the way I've heard it. Face it, our kind has the curse of being cared for by humans all of our lives. I mean, how bad can it be, sis? I say we're safe and secure. That's what really matters the most. I see it's true, Darla realizes. Mickey nods and smiles. That's the spirit. I knew you would. You really are a dodo brain, she tells him and flutters to a higher branch. He stands frozen with his beak open, stunned by his sister's work. Oh, man, just look at all the open space in this house. I would do anything to fly from one end of the hall to the other just once. Suddenly, a large, eerie shadow approaches the window. Anything you say? A rugged voice comes from out of its mouth. Darla turns to look, and Mickey gets so afraid that he falls off the branch and back down to the birdcage floor. Who am I? I'm the one who can make your wish come true, kid, said the mysterious crow standing at the window. Mickey's head shot up out of the soft straw that lined the bottom of the cage. Excuse me, sir, but I believe my sister asked you a question. He then flutters out and lands in front of his sister on the branch. Whoa, no need to get testy there, bright boy. I guess you're right. Where are my manners? Many folks around the neighborhood call me Archie, says the tall bird with a gleam in his eye. Archie? Well, isn't that a common name for jailbirds? Mickey implies. Anyway, how is it that you think you can help us, Mr. Archie? Darla asks. He chuckles for a second before he answers. Well, let me see here.
Not only can I let you out of this cage while everyone is away so you can fulfill your little dream, but I can also give you a way to get out anytime you want it, he tells with a wide grin upon his mustard-coloured beak. Darla's eyes grow large with wonder. How did you know? Hey, just how long have you been spying on us, huh? Mickey demands. The strange bird starts to fly around in slow circles. I was just passing by, and I heard the little lady in distress. That's all. The real question here is, how bad do y'all want to get out of that pigeon coop? I can't say I know how it feels to have wings attached to my body just for show, or my freedom taken away all day, every day. But from where you're sitting, it don't look pretty. The crow then lands on top of the birdcage. Be careful, Darla. We don't know what he's really up to, Mickey warns while covering his sister. Hey, darling, is he always this scary? Archie puts his wing on the latch, lifts it up and opens the cage door. Then he starts to whistle before gliding back down to the window ledge. What are you waiting for? Fulfill your dreams. The kid's mom just went upstairs, so I figure you got about 3 minutes to soar. Mickey opens his beak to speak, but before he can say a word, Darla whizzes past him and flies right out of the birdcage. Whee! Darla shouts as she happily soars through the air, doing loop-the-loops, zigzags, and anything else she could think of. Come on, scaredy cat! Check out what you've been missing all your life! Freedom! Well, here goes nothing. Mickey stands on the ledge of the cage and jumps off. He has to flap his wings very hard to try to stay in the air with his sister. See, silly, you've been cooped up for so long that your flight skills have dropped. I bet there is no way you could keep up with me in a race. Come on, slowpoke, from one end of the hole to the other. That's fine and dandy, but we have to be careful. Go! She takes off like a hungry falcon chasing a meal. Hey, wait! She comes to the end of the hall and smoothly turns direction in the air. Poor Mickey, on the other hand, tries to mimic her but ends up slamming into the walls. I win, you lose, Darla tells her brother. He flutters like a drunken butterfly back to the top of the cage. I'm in way too much pain to think about some silly contest, but I'm glad you're having fun. You two chickadees crack me up, said the mystery crow. Thank you for helping us get free, Mr. Archie. I don't know what we would have done if you didn't show up. Yeah, why are you helping us anyway? What's in it for you? Mickey wonders. Darla smacks him on the beak, and he rolls down the cage and hits the hardwood floor. Hey, what are pals for, huh? Besides, I'd feel really terrible if I didn't help out my fellow bird brothers. Oh, how very thoughtful of you, Mickey says from below. If there is any way that we can ever repay you, let us know, okay? Says Darla. Archie then cracks a little grin. Actually, little darling, there is one thing. Aha! I knew it! A hidden agenda! Mickey shouts as he flies to his sister's side. I tell you, Darla, we shouldn't trust him. There is no telling what he wants in return. Maybe he needs all of our tail feathers to decorate his nest. Or maybe he wants to take us and make us his pets. Or maybe he wants to put us in some disgusting corn-crow soup and eat us. Darla stares at her panicky partner and shakes her head. Calm down, bro, before your head feathers start falling out. What is the one thing, may I ask? The big crow leans up against the window and points outside. You see that statue with the 2 stone birds on top? Over the hedge in the giant yard next door. The siblings stare across the yard and locate the object. Yeah, I didn't even notice that earlier, says Darla. So, what about it? Mickey demands. Wait about 5 seconds, tells Crow. The curious pair continues to stare, and then suddenly the dull-looking statue springs to life by way of a magnificent water show. The stone birds constantly spew water out of their beaks and into a wide fountain below. There are also mini waterfalls and a single jet stream that shoots straight up into the air. The beautiful sunlight makes the fountain and the water droplets shine and sparkle with rainbow colors. The parakeet duo gazes at the marvelous sight in amazement. Oh, my turtle dove heaven, Darla says with her eyes wide open. I don't think that I've ever seen anything more beautiful, says Mickey. I knew you'd be impressed. Many have nicknamed it the Fountain of Paradise, Archie informs. It's the most beloved work of art in the entire neighborhood of Olive Tree. Birds of all types, even passers-by, can't get enough of this spectacular view, and it's become a great tourist attraction. Heck, even the butterflies love it. It's just too darn bad that no bird is able to bathe in its showers, let alone get near it. What do you mean? Darla questions. You see the old geezer with the house slippers and the overcoat on, picking up the morning paper? That's Old Man Haggerty, a rich and lonely old loon who doesn't like anything or anyone but his money. He has a serious problem with people messing around in his fountain, especially birds. That doesn't make any sense. If he doesn't like birds, then why does he have a bird fountain? And a rather large one at that. She scratches her head. I dunno, kiddo. Maybe he likes to tease us birds, 'cause he can. That's just the type of jerk this guy is. How cruel. Why don't you all just jump in a fountain and then fly away when he comes? Considering how old he is and the distance from the front door to the fountain, you should practically be able to have fun all day, Mickey suggests. That's a very bright idea there, Sunshine, but there is a couple of problems with that. For starters, he's got 2 gardener goons that make sure we don't get close to it, so running around is the least of his worries. Second, and here is the kicker, he's got a high-voltage switch connected from his house all the way to the statue. He flips the switch every night at 9 o'clock when his hired goons go home for the day. So if some unlucky sap decides to get brave and jump in, he would be zapped silly like he's stuck his fingers in a wall socket. Believe me, I've watched many a bird get their feathers frizzled on behalf of their bravery, and it don't look pretty."
"That's terrible," says Darla.
"So, this is where the favour comes in. I was at his window a couple of nights ago, and happened to see the room where the switch is kept. There is a small vent on the back side of the house that leads straight into it, an opening small enough for a parakeet to climb through."
"Are you nuts? On a cold day in a chicken hole?" "Hey!" Darla cuts her brother off before he finishes.
"Just think of it. After you turn off the switch, you two chicks will be known as heroes."
"Us? Heroes?" Darla imagines.
"Yeah, and after the deed is done, we can have a big celebration at the fountain tonight in you guys' honor. I'll even invite some of my closest pals along. So, what do you say? You up to the challenge?"
"Mickey, this could be the grand adventure that we've been waiting for. It must be fate. We may not ever get a chance to do anything like this again."
"You're right about one thing, sis. If we did something as reckless as that, we wouldn't get a chance to do anything like that again, because we'd be dead."
"Oh, stop being an albatross and start living a little.
"Darla,
We haven't been outside of the cage that long, let alone outside this house. And have you actually looked out there? I can bet there are bigger and meaner things that would just love to make a meal out of us."
And those guys in uniform that keep going into our backyard don't look too pleasant either. It is far too dangerous, and I forbid against it. Sorry, Mr. Archie, you have to find someone else to do your dirty work. Our answer is no." "Wow, that's too bad. Oh well, it was a nice idea anyway. I guess the two of you can go back to your life behind bars, and I guess I've got to find someone else who can use this thing."
From out of his feather pocket, he pulls out a skeleton key made of wood.
"Well, I guess I'll get going then. Got a lot today to enjoy."
"Wait!" Darla shouts. "I'll do it!"
"What? Darla, you can't be serious,"
says Mickey.
"Just tell me when and where."
The ebony bird paused for a second and then cracked his familiar wide grin.
"All right. Meet me on top of Haggerty's garage at 9:55 on the dot. And don't be late."
Archie then tosses the key at Mickey and exits the window. Right when Mickey is about to catch it, they hear the sound of Twila's mother humming a tune while making her way back downstairs. He bobbles the key in the air and it drops to the floor. "Oh," Mickey utters. "She's coming! Hurry into the cage, Mickey, and I'll get the key." Darla grabs her brother by the head and throws him inside.
"Darla, forget the key. You're not going to make it in time."
"No way! I have to get it," she says while gliding down to the floor. The humming and footsteps of Twila's mum are getting very close. "Hurry, Darla, or you get caught for sure." "Got it!" She swoops up the key in her small talons and speeds back to the bird cage. The very moment Darla slammed into the back of the cage, forcing the door shut, did Twila's mum at the same time make it downstairs. "Phew! Talk about a close call, huh?"
Darla says to Mickey while lying upside down against the birdcage. Mickey's plumage has turned completely pale due to her narrow escape. "Hey, pretty birds, are you getting all excited in there?" Twila's mom speaks as she walks down the hall. She then notices loose feathers, both yellow and blue, scattered throughout the hallway. "Oh no, we left evidence. She's gonna know. She's gonna know we were out. And then she'll feed us to the nasty cat." Mickey panics. The siblings hold their breath as the woman stares at them with a suspicious look on her face. The fresh breeze is blowing harder than I thought. Maybe I'd better wear a jacket out, she says to herself and continues with her chores. Phew! The parakeets exhale their breath in relief. "I'm not going anywhere, Darla, so you can forget about this whole fiasco," Mickey tells her. Darla flies to her nest bed and lies down. "I'm going with or without you, so I'm going to take a bird nap before I leave tonight." "You are thinking like a cuckoo. You can't go. I have 1,000,001 dangerous reason why you cannot go." She then closes her eyes and lets Mickey talk and talk and talk. Mickey blabbed on for so long that the sun had already set and the moon was high in the sky. Chapter 3. Freedom. "And the number one reason why I won't permit you to leave is—" "What time is it? I took a long nap." You haven't heard a word I've said, have you?" "Good. Everyone in the house is asleep," says his sister as she flutters to the water tube to take a drink. "Darla, will you please listen to me? Trying to go outside is unthinkable and just plain insane. I refuse to sit back and let my little sister throw her life away in the name of some crazy adventure." "There!" she utters. "Darla, what are you doing?" She places the key between the curve in the latch and jumps on top of it. "Got it!" she says with excitement as the latch pops open, but the wooden key snaps in two. "Oh man, the key just broke. Hopefully Mr. Archie has another one around somewhere." "This isn't funny, Darla. Close that door this instant," Mickey orders, but she is already out of the cage and gliding toward the window ledge. "Darla, don't go out that window. Have you forgotten that Beano is lurking around outside as well? Drat, won't you listen to anything?" He flutters out of the cage door and lands beside her. "Shh! Don't make a sound. Look down there," she whispers to her brother. Below the ledge outside was the mischievous cat, with his tail in the air, ready to pounce on something. Suddenly, a grey mouse runs out from underneath the house, and Beano dashes right behind him. They both race through the wooden gate leading into the backyard and disappear into the night. "Now is our chance. Let's go," Darla tells Mickey before zipping through the nighttime air. "Wait up, Darla," he worriedly said. "Wow, this is awesome. We're flying outside. We're flying free. We're really flying free. And the clear starry night is just so beautiful." "Well, I must admit, it is kind of exciting to be flying so freely, but it's still way too dangerous to be out. So let's turn around and go back home, okay? And here I thought you were finally growing crest feathers. False alarm." she teases as she weaves past 2 trees and lands on top of the garage. Not funny, sis, not funny. I'm pretty sure it's close to 9:55. I wonder where Mr. Archie is. Well, he isn't here, so that settles it. Let's go home now. Mickey shivers while trying to convince her. Boo! Says the clever crow after silently landing behind them. Ah! Mickey yells as he rolls down the garage roof and into the gutter. Hey, darling, you sure it was such a good idea to bring Neon here along? Seems like his feathers are even brighter at night. The name is Mickey, thank you very much, he tells after spitting out a mouthful of leaves. Anyway, the vent that leads to the switch room is at the backside of the house. Old Man Haggerty went to bed around 15 minutes ago, so all you have to do is get in, flick the switch and get out, explains Archie. Gotcha, says Darla. Oh, yeah, the key broke after I used it, and I was wondering if... Yeah, don't worry about it. Just go and take care of that switch. The sooner you get it done, the sooner we can celebrate in you guys' honor, of course. I even sent a couple of my closest friends around town to gather some things for our party. Right, Darla agrees and flies towards Haggerty's home. Well, here I go. She then opens the lid and crawls into the vent. Working her way up the pipe, she finally reaches the inside of the pitch-black mansion. Then the keen-eyed parakeet notices a faint glow at the end of the room. She checks it out, and to her suspicion, it was the switch to the Fountain of Paradise. Yes! Jackpot! Chapter 4. Triple Trouble. I wonder if Darla made it in okay. What if she got stuck in the pipe? Or what if that old man has woken up and found her snooping around? Or what if... Pipe down, Glowbird. Look over there, Archie tells Mickey. Darla, it's a miracle you made it back in one piece. Was there ever any doubt? Well, yes, to be honest. You did good, kiddo. Now, let's go test out the fountain to see if it's safe, says Archie. The 3 birds head across the giant yard and arrive at their destination. Archie then carefully sticks part of his wing into the flowing water. The juices are perfect, he utters with a sinister grin on his face. Yes, it worked. Come on, Mickey, let's jump in, Darla says with excitement. Suddenly, out of the darkness, 2 huge flying shadows slowly make their way to the bird fountain. Those things are coming this way, Darla, a very scared Mickey tells. Ah, right on time, boys, says Archie to the 2 crows that have landed next to him on the fountain rim. Then the 3 of them begin laughing among themselves. Darla, I don't know about this. Those must be the friends he was talking about inviting to our party. Let's introduce ourselves. Hi, guys. My name is Darla, and this is my brother Mickey, she tells the crows. Hey, Archie. These 2 puss-ups you've been telling us about, says one crow. They were actually dumb enough to go into the house and turn off the switch for us old crows. Ha ha ha! Sweet, says the other. What? What are you guys talking about? asks the confused Darla. Hey, wait a minute. The flowers that Crow has, aren't those from Tweela's mum's garden? Mickey questions. Those vegetables that the other crow has are from Jasmine's mother's garden. Just what is going on here, Mr. Archie? She wonders. Well, it's like I told ya. Me and my pals are gonna have a celebration in your honor. Here is to my pathetic new parakeets, pals. Thanks for doing me that favor. Yeah, 'cause that old fart wouldn't let us play in the fountain with the other birds, said one crow. We were getting pretty upset watching everybody else enjoy it, so now it's our turn. Sweet, said the other. So, you three are the pests that's been wrecking the neighborhood and ruining Tweela's mum's garden? Darla angrily said. You got it, darling. Me and my boys kinda moved into this pretty little neighborhood about a week ago. We saw this beautiful bird fountain and just wanted to enjoy a good bath. But that weird old man sent his gardener goons after us and booby-trapped the fountain 'cause he's got this crazy idea that we're gonna bust it up. Archie explains with that grin on his beak. You lied to us. You said if we helped, you would give us the key to the bird cage, but it broke when we used it. How could you trick us like that? She questions with tears in her eyes. I didn't lie about the key, darling. It's like I said. You could use the key to get out of the cage any time you wanted. But I didn't say every time you wanted. And it just so happens that you chose to use it tonight. Now, if you'll excuse us, we have a party to get started. You sneaky monster! Darla, I think we should get going now, Mickey tells. I'll show them, Mickey. I'll just go turn the switch back on and make them pay. I thought you might say something like that, so I planned for it. Boys, get 'em. The first crow drops the flowers he held and quickly grabs Darla. The second crow drops the vegetables and chases after her brother. Run, Mickey, run! His sister yells out to him. He takes flight and heads towards the house as fast as he could, but the big scary bird was right on his tail. He weaves back past the 2 trees, underneath a neighbor's hammock, and right through the gate of his own dark backyard. The mean crow suddenly lost interest in Mickey and heads back to the fountain. Phew, he's gone. I can't believe I made it, he says to himself while trying to catch his breath. Suddenly, he hears a howling sound coming from behind him. Filled with fear, he slowly turns his head to see what it is. Ghost! He yells to the top of his beak, then charges through the back gate and lands on the window ledge. It is way too crazy outdoors. Hungry cats, giant ghosts, and evil crows are more than enough for me, Mickey tells himself. Before he enters the safety of the birdcage, he hears his sister screaming for help. Oh no, I forgot about Darla. What am I going to do? Chapter 5 Parakeet Heroes. Meanwhile, the 3 bad birds have tied Darla down to one of the stone bird statues while they continue to frolic. With leftover food and torn up flowers scattered everywhere, they have already trashed the beautiful bird fountain. You having fun yet, boys? Archie asks his partners in crime. Yeah, Archie, it don't get no better than this, said one crow. Yeah, and for a bonus, we got a special pal to watch us enjoy it all. Sweet, said the other. Untie me, you turkey brains, or are you gonna regret this? Darla warns. Oh, so scary, little chick. What you think you got a guardian eagle waiting in the wings to save ya? A crow asks. Then, out of nowhere, a bright yellow object streaks through the air and slams into the belly of the big bird, forcing him off the fountain edge and crashing into the grass below. Whoa! What was that? The other crow wonders. Canary boy, Archie says with anger. Mickey, you came back for me. Are you feeling okay? No time for jokes, Darla. You have to go back in and turn on that switch. We can't let these crows continue on with their nonsense, he tells while untying her from the statue. Right, bro. Darla agrees as she heads towards Haggett's home once more. Oh, no, you don't, the other crow shouts as he knocks poor Darla out of the sky into a nearby tree. Darla! Mickey yells out. Archie starts clapping his wings. Good show, banana feathers. Good show. I figured you would just run home and bury your head like an ostrich, but instead you got brave and decided to save your sister. It's like I said before, I've seen many a bird get their feathers fried on behalf of their bravery, and after tonight you will be added to that list of unfortunate birds, he tells with an evil grin on his beak. Meanwhile, Darla is down by the tree, struggling to get up after being hit by the other crow. The scary bully suddenly lands on the ground in front of her. Oh, are you hurt, Blue Girl? Sweet. Who's gonna save you now? Right as he's about to grab her beano, the cat comes leaping through the air and pounces on the big mean crow. And the frightened bully yells like a baby to the top of his beak for help. Dust, fur, and feathers are flying everywhere as they tumble all over Haggett's yard. Thank you, Beano, Darla utters as she makes her escape. Back at the bird fountain, Archie is trying his best to get a hold of Mickey, but the nervous bird is quickly moving out of harm's way. But be still, will ya? I won't hurt ya that much, Archie tells him as he wades through the water. I'd rather not, thank you, Mickey says while hopping around. Hey, you think you can fly very fast with your wings all wet like that? I already know that I can't fly faster than you like this. Exactly, bright boy. So why don't you give up right now before I get madder? Suddenly, Archie dives on top of Mickey and water splashes everywhere. Gotcha, he says after grabbing him by the wings. I betcha didn't know that was coming, did ya, Smarty Pants? No, but I bet my surprise will be better. Mickey smiles right before biting Archie on the wing as hard as he could and then flying straight up into the air. Now, Darla, now! He yells across the huge yard. Darla turns the high voltage switch back on, and right away Archie gets the shock of a lifetime. Ouch! The big bad crow
hollers as he shoots out of the water, rockets through the sky, and soars right out of the peaceful neighborhood of Olive Tree. His two bruised bully buddies quickly follow him out as well.
You did it, Mickey! You did it!
Darla happily shouts as she flies out of Haggerty's home. No, sis, we did it together.
We do make a good team, don't we, bro? I can't wait until our next adventure. It's gonna be even more exciting than this one was.
I see. You really are a dodo brain, Mickey teases as he flies back home.
Haha, very funny, bro.
She follows after him. The next morning, the parakeets are back in their birdcage, just waking up and starting their daily bird songs. Suddenly, the cloth cover is pulled off the cage. Rise and shine, silly birdies, Twyla says with excitement. Today's the big day. Today you birdies get your surprise. Big day? Mickey says.
Surprise!
Says Darla. Daddy, Daddy, Twyla calls to him. Yes, baby, I'll get the birds while you open the door. He takes the bird cage and walks down the hallway towards the back door. Twyla opens the door very wide and yells, Surprise! Oh no, it's the giant ghost! Hide! Mickey shouts and ducks behind his sister. Mickey! Please, don't let it eat me. Mickey, look! He then peeks his head out from behind her and sees Twyla pulling the white sheet off the so-called ghost. To Mickey and Darla's surprise, the giant ghost in their backyard is actually a beautiful new bird fountain. Ta-da! Says Twyla. I hope you guys like it. I paid the landscapers a pretty penny to have this made. Now, let's turn on the water, says her dad.
Wow, Mickey, we have our very own bird fountain. I guess they were gonna let us fly free after all.
So, you mean to tell me that we went through all that stuff for nothing? He asks as his eyes grow big.
Well, we did save the neighborhood from those bad crows, and there is a very valuable lesson to learn in all this.
What lesson?
Don't be such a scary canary. Live a little from time to time.
She smiles. Darla, I'm gonna get you. He yells out of his bright yellow face, turns red with anger.
Got to go,
Darla says as she crashes through the birdcage door. Mickey swiftly chases her in circles around the beautiful new bird fountain. Twyla and her daddy bust out with laughter while watching the crazy parakeet pair in action. The end. I hope you guys liked it. Bird words. Hey kids! There are many wonderful species of birds mentioned throughout the story. Can you find at least 3 types of birds and give a short description of each one? Hint: the first time a bird species is mentioned, its name is colored and capitalized. I'll give you one of them. Parakeets. Any small or medium-sized species of the parrot family that usually have long tail feathers. To learn more about the different species of birds, I encourage you and your parents to enter their names into an internet search engine. Bye-bye. Be good for your parents. And don't forget to subscribe.